If you were to write him a check, what do you think his value is?
Right now?
Yes.
If I'm projecting forward a little bit and being positive about it, I think right around the $40 to $45 million range. If you're going to extend them, to me, if the Eagles come up and say, well, he's only worth about 30 to 35 million a year, then it's not worth keeping him.
I said a couple minutes ago for the NFL is that Russell Wilson deal wasn't guaranteed. And I'm thinking the only reason that contract is not guaranteed is because he is 33 years of age. If he's 25, like Deshaun Watson, that contract's probably fully guaranteed. Okay. Let's bring my guy in, man. Philly 500.
What is up? I'm ready. Hey, I was born ready, baby.
I'm going to show you the hat.
Oh, man.
Which one do you want? I'm sending Philly 500 one of these hats. Which one do you want?
Man. The one on the right.
The one on the right? All right.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of
Are you sure about that? Oh, my God. Dude, Jerome Brown, one of my favorite players of all time.
You know what I should do, Philly? I got about 100 of them. Wow. I should probably give them away, like, throughout the season, a Jerome Brown hat. Only if they win. For every win, I give a hat away.
Well, then you're going to be giving out a lot of hats, baby, because we're winning a lot of games. That's right.
Hey, man. All right. So, listen, I started this off. Russell Wilson signs a contract for $245 million, $165 guaranteed. Lamar Jackson, obviously, is going to try to play through the season. Maybe they get it done in the next 10 days. And we just saw what happened with Deshaun Watson. On September 1, in your opinion, Philly, what do you think the value of Jalen Hurts is today going into the regular season? If you were to write him a check, what do you think his value is?
Right now?
Yes.
If I'm projecting forward a little bit and being positive about it, I think right around the $40 to $45 million range. If you're going to extend them, to me, if the Eagles come up and say, well, he's only worth about 30 to 35 million a year, then it's not worth keeping him. To me, he's got to fit that upper echelon to go pay a quarterback that kind of money. But if I have to project this year what I think he's going to do, I think he'll be about 40, 45 million.
I think so. Look, that's the benchmark. And know this. The franchise tag, do you think that Howie would go through the franchise tag before they would extend him? Or do you think that they would extend him? You see them paying him $200 million.
Well, I mean, it depends on performance, but I don't think there's any way that the Eagles are going to go and let him go into the last year of a contract and not decide. I think they decide one way or the other this year. They got 2 first-round picks, right, with this upcoming draft. And, the Eagles, look, they know how to Howie knows how to work these contracts. It would cost him way more money if Jalen Hurts goes out the final year of his contract and plays as a top 10 quarterback. Then you're going to have to franchise him and pay him what, as a top 3? I think they make their decision this year one way or the other.
You mentioned him. What does Howie Vision mean to Philly 500?
How he do that?
Offseason?
How he do that? That's what I want. How he do that? Because I'm telling you what, I'm falling in love with this guy. I can't help it.
Gotcha.
The thing is I don't know that I necessarily like his drafts, right? I don't.
Yeah.
But
Look at the 2020 draft, Philly.
Right.
I mean, it's not the best.
But I was thinking about this. So I was up after that, after they made, especially the Jalen Reagor trade, after it looked like we weren't going to get anything for him or be able to move him. I was thinking to myself, I kind of love this guy because, yeah, he may screw up the drafts, but he gives us so much material in the offseason because he's always doing something. He's always active. He's not going to stand pat. Okay. I think he's very entertaining as a guy who makes videos and talks about him on YouTube all day. I think any other GM could be a lot more boring than him. He's always going to do something. So on that level, I kind of love the guy. I kind of do.
I'll tell you this too, man. Philly, when I look at what he's done this offseason and how he's constructed the team and how economically sound it's been, know this too. These are not 35-year-old dudes looking for their last meal as an NFL player. These are 24, 25. They're like one of the 6th youngest teams roster-wise in the NFL. And I made this statement yesterday, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. I don't know if they're the most talented roster in the NFC, but I'll tell you this, they're the deepest. And that just may win it by the end of the year, because we all know the war of attrition is how that 17 team actually won it too. Mm-hmm. They were just deep in the most important positions. Is that fair?
I think it's very fair. I think it's very fair. I think they are very deep for most part. There are a few positions that I still think they need some help on. I still think you need another running back. I still think you need another tight end. And I do worry about the cornerback depth a little bit. But, I mean, you can't fix everything in one season. And I expect Jalen Hurts to have a good year and get an extension. That's my expectations for him. But let's say, just for argument's sake, he doesn't. Well, any quarterback that they go out and get, look at what they're getting plugged into. I mean, 2 receivers, tight end, best offensive line. I mean, this is going to be a dream situation for any quarterback. So they really have set themselves up. And Howie, I mean, to me, he's got the Cowboy fans sweating today. You know that? Yes. They are like nervous. Like, I did a video saying Howie Roseman exposes the Cowboys front office, because this is a team with Dak Prescott that should be trying to win. They can't do anything. Meanwhile, he's running circles. Oh, I need a safety here. I need to trade Jalen Reagor. He got rid of J-Jaw and Jalen Reagor in the same year. That's a guy who's saying, hey, I'm not afraid to admit my mistakes and fix it. And then get this. He sends J-Jaw to Seattle to be with DK Metcalf, who we should have drafted. Then he sends Reagor to Minnesota to be with Justin Jefferson, who we should have drafted. He took it to them. Now they're going to have to look at those guys every day. I think he's genius. He's an evil genius.
You know what, though? Big Pickens just said this about you. You have a psycho relationship with Howie Roseman.
I do. No, he's not wrong. I have a love-hate with Howie. I do. Because he infuriates me with some of the draft picks before, and you got to think about Howie's history too, right? He takes over for Andy Reid. There was a time where it was known that people, like football guys, did not want to work with him. We heard that for a long time. There were GMs, they didn't want to work with him. He's not a football guy. The whole thing with Chip Kelly, right? Then he comes and he fixes everything, wins the Super Bowl, and then he kind of just screws us up for the next few years. We're going to salary cap hell, and then he went and fixed it. So I have a love-hate with him, but I have to admit, I think he's the best GM in terms of trades, in terms of contracts. I just don't like some of his drafts. I don't necessarily trust him. I will give an official apology if he has one more good draft. I will put a suit and a tie on, and I will apologize to Howie for every bad word I said about him.
Can I give you here's my assessment of what's happened to him over the last 3 years. And I love what you just said, because I had a personnel guy on with me yesterday. Mm-hmm. And the number one thing he said, the same thing you said, Howie Roseman is not a personnel guy, but what he's done the last couple of years. And to me, I think since that 4-11-1, the whole Doug Peterson, the whole Carson Wentz, Philly, you've been following this team way longer than me, with more passion than me. And I'll throw this into you. I think he's gotten better at listening to the people around him. And get this, that's why you see the Andrew Berrys, the Joe Douglases getting jobs. Because if those guys are getting jobs from his front office, the guy Waddell is now the assistant general manager in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And I think these last 2 years, I think they've given him a new light on how to build this team, listening to the personnel guys. And like you said, he's a wizard at the contracts. He's a capologist guy, so he sees what the team Howie's got a vision already of what the team looks like in 2 years because of these draft choices he's got last year. Am I right when I'm saying that? He's a better GM today than he was, say, even at 17.
Yeah, without question, especially because if you look at the last 2-year drafts, it looks like he's hit on a lot of picks. And I think that only comes from listening to your scouting department, your personnel department. So yeah, I would say so. I'm amazed at what he did, especially the last 2 days. You know, he always pulls something that you don't expect. I'm just entertained by the guy. Like, he's going to keep it fun all season. Could be worse. We could be the Cowboys, need a left tackle, and we're just going for Jason Peters, who's 40 years old. And I hope he goes to Dallas, and I hope he gets paid, and I hope he robs them blind. I do.
Philly, I'll tell you, man, I want to know why you're such a fan of Jalen Hurts. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, are just headstrong with the guy. And believe me, I see all the things of the portrait too, and I believe it all. But here, when I hear the word potential, that means you haven't done it to me. You haven't done it yet when I hear the word potential.
Yeah.
Why are you so high on him? LB and all you guys are so high on him. What have you seen so far that makes you say that this guy here is the answer at quarterback?
Well, I mean, I like I said, honestly, I can't tell you for sure that I know he's the guy or not. I'm not that confident. But the thing about Jalen Hurts, I guess, for me, that makes me believe he is going to be, it's the stuff on the inside. It's the leadership. It's the intangibles. It's the work ethic. You know, a lot of these guys are all very talented when they come to the NFL, but it's like, you know, you need that something inside you. You need that mental ability. You need certain things inside that you can't teach. I believe Hurts has the things you can't teach. And I think that gives him a good shot to be the guy. It's the things on the inside with him. It's not necessarily he has the biggest arm or anything like that. It's the stuff on the inside. That's why I can buy into him. I think he deserves at least a chance. I can't say whether he is.
He's got the Brady intangible in him.
Yeah.
The hard work, the dedication,
I do.
the understanding who he is. I call it the Brady intangible.
Yeah, I think so. And if you look and watch how his teammates respond to him, I mean, you know, I don't think you can teach. Yeah, I don't think that is something you can teach. You know, you can teach mechanics. You can work on your accuracy. You can work on those things. The stuff inside, you know, maybe some of the stuff that Carson Wentz didn't have that we didn't realize at first.
It doesn't.
He has. And yeah, I think Hurts has that. So that's where I have a lot of hope in that he's going to show us something, because people can't measure that. They can't watch that on tape, you know?
Here's my concern with that, though, okay, when we talk like this.
Okay.
San Francisco went through the same exercise the entire offseason, telling us how great Trey Lance looked, how wonderful he is. A little came out and said he's got everything. Trent Williams came out and said, this guy is going to be our guy, this and that. But at the end of the day, at the 23rd hour, as the season was getting ready to start, Philly, what did they do? They brought back Garoppolo because you know why? They watched the final preseason game. And they said that as much as they were pumping him up, just like the Philadelphia Eagles have been pumping up Jalen Hurts the entire offseason, there's been, and I think you should be giving good vibes to everybody in the building of what's happening. There's nothing negative. I'm not there with that. All I'm saying is I get a little cautious when I hear people overselling me a car.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's fair. But I gotta tell you, man, my perspective is everybody seems to be crapping on him more than like I hear more people kind of like, well, you know, the Eagles are good, but they have Jalen Hurts. The Eagles could do this, but they have Jalen Hurts. So I don't feel like I'm being sold something. I'm being told I should overlook something.
So you think they look at him like the Raven team with Trent Dilfer? Hey,
absolutely.
The Ravens are good, but they have Dilfer to deal with.
I hear more of that than anything else, you know. So to me, like I said, I don't know if he's the guy or not. I thought he did enough last year to deserve another year. We're gonna see, but I like the stuff inside so far. I think that gives them a legitimate shot. And then you put a talented team around him. Yeah, let's see what he can do. I'm open to it.
3 last questions. Who leads the team in rushing yards this year? Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott? Because I think this is indicative of how this team progresses as a passing team. If Hurts is the leader, in my opinion, Philly in rushing again, I don't think the passing game improves that much.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Miles. I think it's got to be Miles. I'm very concerned about him and his injuries. I know he returned to practice today, but I think if Miles is healthy, I think he'll be the guy. I really do. I don't think they're going to run as much as they did. I think if they're running like they did last year, I agree with you. I think that's not a good sign at all.
Who leads the team in sacks?
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick leads it.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you what, I think Sweat, and I'm with Barrett Brooks, I think that kid has shown me this offseason here, maybe the most improved defensive lineman, Philly.
Yeah.
He's proven to me he's an every down defensive lineman. Last year, I thought he was a situational player. This year, I actually think this guy here can be a 3-down lineman. I think he's showing me he's got versatility now.
I like him. I think he's gotten better every year. I see him as I guess I see him around like 8 to 10 sacks. I think Reddick is somewhere like around 10 to 12. And the reason I give it to Reddick is he's done it in 2 different places.
Absolutely. That's a great. Who leads the Eagles in receiving yards?
Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is going to be the guy. He's the man. I love A.J. Brown.
Over Brown. Why?
I think he leads in receptions and receiving yards, partly because A.J. Brown is going to have so much attention, especially early in the year. I don't think people can stop this guy. You're putting your second best corner on him. I think, especially early on, I think he leads the team in receptions, receiving yards. I'm going to say A.J. Brown in touchdowns, but I think Devontae Smith's going to have he's going to crush it this year. That's my boy.
Final question for you.
Okay.
Is Jonathan Gannon the defensive coordinator by the end of the year?
Always the toughest question. I'll say he makes it through the year, but I think after this year, he's gone no matter what happens.
You think they're a top 10 defense?
Yeah, I do.
How come I'm not buying that from you, dude?
I was thinking about the acquisition of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think that changes things because I think that was a huge upgrade for the Eagles. So I'm going to say yes. Now, Jonathan Gannon is a concern. I think a lot of whether they could be top 10 depends on his aggressiveness. If he's sitting back and he's not blitzing, he's not going after getting the quarterback, then we're going to have a problem.
Okay, man. Your boys
Get them cigars ready. Get them cigars ready.
Hey, man, we may be for every time they win, we're gonna have to smoke a cigar and do a shot.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I'm game. Yeah. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Philly, you're awesome, man. I appreciate it, brother. Hey, tell people how to get in touch with you, man, so they can watch your stuff too.
Just type in Philly 500. You'll see it'll say Philly 500 meltdown, or it'll say something like that. Just click on it, and you'll see my beautiful Denzel Washington-looking face. But I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate the hat, too, man. I'm very excited about that. Love Jerome Brown.
I'm going to send that to you, man. You spend time with us. Big Sills, make sure he goes out of his way. By the way, too, man, you and me with rants. I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, brother. We'll catch up again,
awesome, man.
That's my boy, Philly 500, man. Please hit the like button. Okay. We're going to go over all the things he said here. Hey, do me a favor also. If you are hurt or injured on the job, Morgan & Morgan is your firm that will take care of you and your family when it comes to fair compensation. I promise you, there's not an attorney firm in the country that will take care of your family. For the people is not just a slogan. This is who they are and what they do. With over 800 attorneys strong in offices in Philadelphia, New York, and in Florida, nobody's going to protect your family like Morgan & Morgan, and there's no such thing as a small case. No such thing. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation's free. 512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.